Reports confirm that His Lordship Michael Bibi, his driver, and DMRTV's journalist Joseph Otop are out of danger after an accident en route Yokaduma over the weekend. The accident occurred as the prelate and his team went for the ordination of the newly appointed bishop of that diocese. Christians of St. Charles Lwanga Parish in Moliko, Boya, and viewers of DMRTV during today's weekly catechesis have been encouraged to embrace the upcoming Lenten season with the spirituality it accords. Reverend Father Nje Martin Moka, priest of the diocese, taught on the liturgical year, the season of Lent. And it is the month for women. Activities are already building up for the 2025 March 8 celebration. Tonight, we bring to you the launch of activities here in Boya by the regional delegation of Women's Empowerment and the Family. Hello there, good evening once more, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being part of Divine Mercy Prime this very third day of March 2025. I am Jude Mbako Munyo, live in Boya. You just got the headlines. Stay now for the full newscast. You're welcome back. Let's start our news here in the Diocese of Boya. As the Lenten season unveils its curtain, emphasis has been made for Christians to fully appreciate the liturgical calendar. This was during the televised teachings of DMRTV weekly catechesis of the Diocese of Boya, dubbed Know Your Faith. This Monday catechesis took place at St. Charles Lwanga Parish in Moliko here in Boya and facilitated by Diocesan Priest Reverend Father Moka Nje Martin, sitting in for the Bishop, His Lordship Michael Bibi, who made these lessons succinctly clear as Christians are already engaging into the Lenten season. Let's have details of these with our reporter, Reverend Father Roderick Yansishim.
From the crossroad town of Mutengene last week to the town of legendary hospitality Boya this week. From All Saints Parish Mutengene last week to St. Charles Lwanga Parish Moliko this week. The Bishop of the Diocese of Boya continues his evangelization program, Know Your Faith. This time around, focus being shifted from the 10 Commandments to Lenten preparations is a timely move. Father Martin Nje Moka, in his dynamic and eloquent style, satin for the bishop. In this session, he brought out the importance of the liturgical calendar.
Of seasons, feasts, and celebrations that commemorate the life, passion and death, and of course the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which is termed the Paschal Mystery. It provides a sense of community. The sense of a liturgical calendar guides our worship. It guides our Christian worship. Again, it provides us encouragement with regard to our evangelization.
Advent to Advent, the church calendar runs in a cycle of 3 years. Lent, from Ash Wednesday to the Easter Triduum, is a time for spiritual deepening. Lent avails us time to a renewed commitment to God.
Take a Lenten resolution. You may say, I resolve to attend all the stations of the cross. I resolve not to let a day pass by without praying. Maybe a decade of the rosary. Above all, let us be glued to the scriptures. Read your Bible. Read your Bible.
Lent is also a time of prayer, almsgiving and fasting, charitable works, deepening oneself in the scriptures, attending prayer programs like Stations of the Cross, and very importantly, giving up to luxury.
During this period, last year, there is a man who has a home, a father of children and wives. They always come to church with their car. He gives a ride and brings the family to church. But I observed that during this period last year, he will not come to church with the car. He will walk with the family, with the wife and children. Every morning, they will walk to church. It is true that it's a walkable distance from his home to the church, but it entails a lot of work too. And I came to realize that he wasn't doing physical exercise. It wasn't sports. Why do I say so? because he took it upon himself as an obligation to give up luxury somewhere analogically during that period of Lent. While they walk from home together with wife and children, they are praying.
This teaching made a great impact to the Christians. It is so timely as the Christians begin this session of Lent come Wednesday. It was a satisfying program, as was evident on the faces of the Christians, ready to enter a Lenten program with zeal and determination come Ash Wednesday.
Now the next session of that catechesis will be next week, Monday, same time, from 10:30 a.m. to midday. We take you now to Yokaduma, where the newly ordained and installed bishop of that diocese, His Lordship Justin George Ebenge, has been reminded to follow the ways of Christ, who has called him to serve the Christian community of Yokaduma. The call was made over the weekend by the Archbishop of Douala, His Grace Samuel Kleda, on the occasion of the consecration of the new prelate that took place at the Yokaduma's stadium. Let's have details in this report with Franklin Fomukong, who is a seminarian here on Pastoral Year.
It was at the closing mass of the 48th annual seminar of the bishops of Cameroon that the news of the newly appointed bishop of the Diocese of Yokaduma was read out to the Christian community in the person of Monsignor Justin George Ebenge.
The Holy Father, Pope Francis, has appointed the Most Reverend Father Justin George Ebenge as the next bishop of the Diocese of Yokaduma in Cameroon.
Following this exciting news, friends, family, and Christians of the Diocese of Yokaduma in the East region this Saturday, March 1st, 2025, converged on Yokaduma Stadium for the ordination and installation of their new bishop, Monsignor Justin George Ebenge. This significant ceremony, which took place at the stadium, saw the presence of government officials, the Apostolic Nuncio to Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea, His Grace Jose Avelino Betancourt, bishops and emeriti bishop of various dioceses. Presenting the newly appointed bishop to the Christian community was Archbishop Samuel Kleda of Douala Archdiocese, who affirmed his trust in him to lead the flock of Yokaduma, thereby performing the ordination rites in which the new prelate was vested with the symbols of his office, including a mitre, crosier, and a fisherman ring. In the homily of His Grace Samuel Kleda, he encouraged the new bishop to be focused on what God called him to do.
Le témoignage des 12 nous éclaire. Ces 12 ont renoncé à tout et sont entrés dans une voie nouvelle. Suivre celui qui sauve, faire désormais partie d'une nouvelle communauté avec lui, vivre de son évangile. Et chaque jour, nous avons à apprendre tout de lui, à découvrir sa personne, à comprendre chaque geste de sa vie, chaque parole qu'il prononce. Cela est très important. Il n'y a pas de distinction entre nous, notre vie, qui annonçons l'évangile.
It is worth noting that before the appointment of Monsignor Justin George Ebenge, he has since 2023 been rector of the Notre Dame de l'Espérance Interdiocesan Major Seminary in Betua.
Right. It wasn't all rosy on road to Yokaduma for His Lordship Michael Bibi, the Bishop of Buea, as he got involved in a car accident. But reports say the prelate is doing just fine, and including one other reporter of DMR TV or journalist, that is Joseph Otop, who was part of the bishop's entourage, alongside the driver of the prelate, Emmanuel Che. Reports say they are all doing fine as they are receiving treatment in the hospital. They were involved in that car accident on Friday, the 28th of February 2025, and wrote Yokaduma for the ordination you just watched there. Matilda Bison from our newsroom captured or narrates what happened during or within the context of that accident. Let's have her report.
It was on the afternoon of Friday, February 28, 2025, that the Bishop of Buea, together with other bishops, took off for Yokaduma for the consecration of the new Bishop of the Diocese of Yokaduma, Monsignor Justin Georges Ebenge, with a smooth ride from Buea, making stops at Dumé, Betua and Baturi, some 50 kilometers to Yokaduma. The unfortunate happened where the bishop's car lost control, tumbled twice and regained stability with its wheel. As a result of this unfortunate accident, the local ordinary sustained some injuries with a chest and head pain, while the journalist and the driver sustained some minor injuries. After attending the consecration of the Bishop of Yokaduma, His Lordship Michael Bibi was flown through a helicopter to the hospital where he and the others are currently being checked, all thanks to the efforts of the Minister of Defense, His Excellency Joseph Betia Somo, in collaboration with other bishops. In a note issued on Sunday, February 2nd, 2025 by the Chancellor of the Diocese of Buea, Reverend Father Michael Mbui confirmed the happening while highlighting the fact that the trio are out of danger. The thoughts of the Christians, religious and the Presbyterium of Buea Diocese are with Bishop Michael Bibi and those affected by this tragic accident.
Thank God and wish them speedy recovery from that unfortunate incident. Now we come back to the Diocese of Buea and take on something else. Choristers of Muya Dinari Choir, known as Mudek, have been exhorted to continue serving God diligently. The call was made by Reverend Father Cletus Aka, who is the Dinari chaplain, choir chaplain, and this was during the Thanksgiving Mass to start the new year, the new season that was on Sunday, March 2nd. At the St. Ignatius Catholic Church in Wonya Mavio. The new executive members of MUDEC were equally installed into their duties in the course of that Holy Mass. Details of this with Eileen Sama, who was part of that event.
These are choristers that make Munya Dinari Choir, assembled here at St. Ignatius of Loyola Catholic Church, Wonya Mavio, to give thanks to God for the last year and praise Him for this 2025. Reverend Father Aka Cletus is chaplain of MUDEC.
This meeting is supposed to be last year at the close of December, but due to the fact that we were busy and had no time, so I shifted it to the ending of this month, where we are celebrating, of course, in the early of February. It's supposed to be at the ending, the last Sunday of January. But the main aim, the main reason why we are here is because we want to kickstart the year by coming together to encourage ourselves. We come from different parishes, from St. John Paul II Parish, Kona, St. Andrew's Parish, Bunya, Second Parish, Bumaka, St. Jude Parish, Polifamba, my 16, and St. Jude Tadios Parish, my 14, Dibanda. So all of us, we have gathered here together as one people to share our joys, to share our experiences, and to commune together as one choir.
The new executive members of Munya Dinari Choir, MUDEC, were installed in the course of the Mass. The newly installed president of Munya Dinari Choir, Na Joseph, is ready to lead the choir for another mandate.
I was re-elected, but to tell you, last mandate was challenging, but I'm very sure this year we are going to come out with new activities that will bring all the choirs of the various parishes together for us to always sing as one. As we know in our dinary, we are the best within the diocese, and we want to maintain our position, and we believe working together will give us the opportunity to praise God better.
Cham Miriam, #1 music director of MUDEC, received an award for being assiduous.
As a music director, it has not been easy, rather, in grooming and teaching the dinari. You know, in the dinari we have different versions of people, different choirs, different music directors. But I love Munya Dinari because it is unique. It is with flow. When it comes to teaching, all the other music directors are always there to guide and lead us. Today I actually received an award. It was a surprise to me. I thank Father Aka Cletus so much and the other executives for picking me out of the many choristers and handing me an award. It is something which I owe all thanks to God Almighty, and pray that I should continue in this same spirit in leading people towards the right path.
The choristers greatly animated the mass, displaying a spectacular lectionary procession. Showcasing vocal dexterity, blending cultural and classic songs, leaving Christians thrilled. The event wrapped up with merrymaking and jubilation.
Right, from Munya, there we take you over to St. John Paul II Parish in Ekona, where parishioners of that parish have raised funds to complete or to erect their parish hall. And we are told that the project has been on for 13 years today. The event took place over the weekend, as you tell us in this upcoming report. Hilarion Tukov of our newsroom.
The construction of a parish hall has been a long-planned project at St. John Paul II Parish, Ekona, since the era of Reverend Father Stephen Norum as parish priest. 13 years and on, the parish hall remains unfinished due to the mal-exodus of Christians who were affected by the ongoing socio-political crisis.
Project chairperson in St. John Paul II Parish. So actually, our hall started in the year 2014 by Father Norum. So when Father Norum went on transfer, we had a missionary priest here, Father Emeka, who came. And as he came, it didn't take long, this crisis started. And as the crisis started, work couldn't continue because the Christians left. Father Ansen came. When he came, the population now was increasing. So we thought it wise that we can start doing something. So we started the work.
Since taking over as parish priest, Reverend Father Anselm Kebi, together with the parishioners, have worked towards completing the project. The need for funds to roof the hall prompted a fundraising drive which brought together Christians from all the mission stations under the parish.
So we'll give 310,000. Papa and the grandchildren, they don't have the sum of 500,000.
Today, the 2nd of March, we had our parish fundraising with the sole goal and purpose of roofing our parish hall. It was beyond my imagination. I know the people of Ekona have suffered a lot in a special way through this socio-political crisis. But this has not stopped the people in their faith, and they continue to show it over and over again in times like this. They stand up like one man with their generosity.
All those present during the fundraising exercise supported the drive with generous donations. As a result, the parish priest, Reverend Father Anselm Kebi, and his parishioners have expressed gratitude while also making a continuous appeal for support to complete this project.
My word goes out to them and my gratitude goes out to them. On behalf of Father Edwin and myself, we thank them. On behalf of the parish council, we say we are so grateful, and we hope that with what we have raised, at least we can begin something to continue with the roofing of the hall.
This day for today, we therefore raise fund for we hall. So the fund we raise on today, it don't pass fine. So me, I be very happy for which way it don't happen today. For say we carry we walk, make it go now ahead, and I thank God for which way it don't do and for this day of today. And I pray say it will continue for hell. We will finish the project.
We are now trying to raise funds to see that we can do the roofing before the rains can come. So, and we are begging to any goodwill to help us so that we can get something to continue the work. So we are still pleading and we are calling on people of goodwill to assist our parish.
The parish priest of St. John Paul II Parish, Ekona, and his parish pastoral council have called on Christians of goodwill to help raise funds for the roofing of the parish hall, estimated to cost 16 million francs.
Right, we move you now over to St. Charles Lwanga Parish in Moliko, where lectors of that parish have been urged to recognize their unique talents and use them judiciously in the service of God. This was during the first group of recollection for 2025 that took place over the weekend at the Our Lady of Grace Shrine in Sase, and it was under the theme Fortify Your Talent. Let's have details of this with a reporter Nadesh Nechome.
As the Lenten season approaches, the lectors of St. Charles Lwanga Parish in Moliko gathered for their first group recollection held at the Our Lady of Grace Shrine in Sase. Focused on the theme, Fortify Your Talents, the teachings from the Gospel of Matthew chapter 23, verses 14 to 30, Reverend Father Alphonse Wangibe urged the lectors to recognize their unique talents and use them in service to God.
To identify their own unique talents and see how to put it before God and never give in to jealousy or envy of another person's talent, because each person God has blessed with his or her talent, and the number is not what matters but our ability to fructify these talents. That was the central message today, so that when they climb the Holy of Holies, the sanctuary, they should not come down without their face being radiant, as was the face of Moses when he climbed on Mount Sinai.
Reverend Father Alphonse Wangibe also outlined some spiritual activities undertaken by the lectors, highlighting the significance of the sacrament of reconciliation as the foundation of every recollection and retreat.
They pray the rosary, silent meditation, songs of worship and prayer, then sacrament of reconciliation, which is key for every recollection or retreat. It will impact their life because the old has gone and the new has come. They come and they put their burdens to the Lord and come out light, and will make them to re-engage themselves in the lectors ministry, not just participating as it was a routine, but now with renewed energy and enthusiasm, participating actively, consciously and fully.
The lectors were reminded of the importance of responding with faith in moments of difficulty, drawing inspiration from the story in Mark chapter 4, where Jesus calms the storm.
I try to reassure ourselves that let's try to ensure that no matter how difficult the situation is, no matter how the storm is, let's be sure to go and connect only to Jesus Christ through prayer.
Some participants, the day was a deeply enriching experience as they expressed how they felt spiritually fortified by activities like silent adoration.
So I'm going to continue also as a lector and also a member in a community. I need to bear in mind that God is with me, and I need to have that trust, and I need to be watchful of my various steps I take as a lector, not only proclaiming to impact the life of the people, but my own benefits in it.
Taught me a lot to be more steadfast in Christ, to not relent in our talent, in what we're doing, and it has really blessed me because I've had a special time to pray.
Really fulfilled. I'm happy, and I thank God for this recollection and being so timely, because very soon we are entering into the Lent season, which is a season of recollection, the season of looking back and looking back with hope.
This one-day recollection was not just a time for spiritual growth, but also a preparation for the Lenten season, a time when Christians are called to deepen their faith through prayer, fasting, and almsgiving.
You're watching this 8-7 p.m. news edition on DMR TV. Let's take you now to something else out of the church. Now, as we indicated in our headlines, week-long activities have been launched for the 40th edition of the Women's Day celebration. And this year, it will be under the theme For All Women and Girls, Right, Equality and Empowerment. This launch was on Saturday, the 1st of March, at the Palapala Field here in Buea Town and was chaired by the Regional Delegate of Women Empowerment and the Family for the Southwest region. From our newsroom was Magdalene Wundo, who was part of that activity. Let's get details in this report.
The 40th edition of International Women's Day has successfully been launched on March 1st, 2025. This event was characterized by several activities like advocacy work, When Women Pray program, where pastors prayed with the women and gave talks on the importance of women in the society and that the obedience of women is all that is required in the society. Another activity was the Vasingi Women Race, commonly called Blow the Blow, which had 4 categories for women between the ages of 20 to 60 years old. To kick off the race, the Paramount Chief of Buea blessed the participants and encouraged them to see the race as an exercise and not a competition among them. Ediaga Lucia Di Pita, Regional Delegate of Women's Empowerment Center and the Family Southwest region, appreciated the women for the massive turnout during the race and laid emphasis on the meaning of empowerment.
Empowerment is not for women to come out with a lot of energy, negative energy, to fight the men or to be aggressive to the men or whatever. Empowerment is that the woman should have added value where tomorrow she can be able to support her family, support her husband, support even other vulnerable children. So when we talk of empowerment, it's something that is added to what she already has. Many women, they have a lot of talents, but these talents need to be exploited and they need to be empowered through these talents that they have. So,
meritorious participants of the 9th edition of the Vasingi Women's Race and dance competitions were awarded prizes, and other women were encouraged to participate in the activities as a way of socializing with women and empowering themselves. Regional delegates of Women's Empowerment and the Family also highlighted the message of the theme for 2025 and the reason why the girl child is at the center.
The main message is the theme of this year, which is all women and girls for rights, freedom and equality, empowerment and equality. Those 3 key messages, the one that somebody asked me yesterday, why are they repeating it? It's because we have seen that there is still a gap. This gap needs to be closed. And for the girl child as a center of this year's theme is because they are going through a lot. A lot of femicide has taken place this year where girls have been raped and killed. A lot of cases of GBV, a lot of cases of child youth molestation, especially the girl child.
Some participants of the Vasingi Women's Race expressed fulfillment in participating and called on other young women to join.
Yes, for my category I run 50 and above. Yeah, the race this year was very, very nice and very, very impressive. So I'm encouraging the young generation to grow, to run this race.
We are very happy for the people that are sponsoring the race because the race is making us very happy, make the women to be very happy. Some of us have the opportunity to meet our friends, our relatives.
Other activities to commemorate the 40th edition of the International Women's Day celebration will continue in Buea with various conferences, sociocultural activities, and human investment till the deal day come March 8, 2025.
Now, staff of the marketing firm Tombi Telecommunications Network Limited have been drilled on how to manage workplace conflict in order to satisfy their customers and increase output. The one-day conference took place in the hall of the Divine Mercy Cathedral here in Buea. Aloysius Leke was there and brought this report.
Staff members of Tombi Telecommunication Network Limited were equipped with knowledge of an ethical workplace atmosphere during a one-day workshop held over the weekend at the Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral Hall. The workshop featured presentations from different speakers with a key focus on strategic, executive, corporate and workplace peace. Various speakers in the course of the program took turns to drill the staff who came out massively to attend and grasp from this rare opportunity. Bochum Samuel Bacher, a peace advocate, centered his presentation on how workers can promote peace in their working environment.
Peace is very important within the workplace because it helps people to align, it helps people to have sense of focus, it helps us to tolerate, understand, and support one another. And I was able to tell these people that what they have to do is that they need to understand first the vision of the company and also know the goals. It permits them to be able to give in their best and also push the agenda as ambassadors of this company. And more to that, I also told them about the disadvantage in a chaotic working space where there's dishonesty, lack of accountability. All of this affects the workplace.
According to Father Frank Bayong, another speaker, a worker's relationship with God also has an impact on the workplace.
And able to show them what the company needs to do to be able to enhance the relationship between God and the people in terms of work. And we're able to see the company could get a counselor, the company could look for some private space where people could have time for prayers, the company could begin. That in most of these offices, they don't start their day with God. But I think that here we have identified the fact that we can always begin our day with God.
Tombi Telecommunication Network Limited is an institution specializing in marketing and advertising. The CEO of TTNet, Mr. Tombi Info, now tells us the reason for the program as well as the network.
This is the beginning of the year. We thought twice to improve the skills of our employees based on the market. The market has gone big, there's technology, there are so many things, and there's a lot of conflict among employees. And the worst is we call it cold war, the one that they cannot express. It can lead to low productivity and even closure of business. So I thought it was an expert in as an entrepreneur, I thought it was I need to have a peace. Let workers know how to settle their dispute among themselves with clients and even handle some of their home difficulties, so that doesn't affect productivities that we are offering to our clients. So that is the purpose of this training session today. TTNet is Tombi Telecommunication Network. We are doing communication within the company and out of the company. That is, we are doing marketing and advertisement. Marketing is like a strategy within an organization. Advertisement is what now the public sees, because the actual marketing is based on internal affairs. Then what you see now is the advertisement. So we're in charge of company's communication. We have services like the Void PBX, which enhance communication within the company. Like I'm able to speak to you in your desktop. This is to speed customers and to speed the customer service and to make better satisfaction for the customers.
The staff, after the impactful program, were handed a certificate of participation and are leaving renewed with hope that they implement all they learn into their services.
Let's now take you to news out of the continent or out of Cameroon in a foreign page, where British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has recently hosted an international defense summit in London, which has brought together stakeholders to discuss ways in giving or achieving lasting peace in Ukraine following Russia's invasion. And also a 4-year-old child has become the second person to die of the recent Sudan strain of Ebola virus at the Mulango Hospital in Kampala, Uganda. Recent statistics show that as of now, we have more than 15,000 persons who have died of the Ebola virus in the past 50 years in Africa. Let us have details of our foreign news roundup with Franklin Fomugo.
The United Kingdom recently hosted a summit on March 2, 2025, focused on supporting Ukraine in its conflict with Russia. The summit, hosted by UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, brought together leaders from various countries, including Ukraine, France, Germany, and the US, to discuss ways to achieve a lasting peace in Ukraine. During the summit, European leaders reaffirmed their commitment to supporting Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
So we agreed some important steps today. First, we will keep the military aid flowing and keep increasing the economic pressure on Russia to strengthen Ukraine now. Second, we agreed that any lasting peace must ensure Ukraine's sovereignty and security.
The UK and other European countries pledged to continue providing military aid to Ukraine while increasing economic pressure on Russia. As part of the resolutions of this summit, the United Kingdom announced a 2.6 billion euros loan to Ukraine to bolster its defense. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that the defense summit was dedicated to Ukraine and a common European future, noting that European unity is at an extremely high level. On to Uganda, where a 4-year-old child became the second person to die of Ebola virus since the outbreak was announced in late January, as reported by the World Health Organization. Recently, Ugandan health officials confirmed that the country had recorded 10 infections with the Sudan strain of the virus. The death of the child is seen as a setback for health officials who had hoped that the highly infectious disease had been contained after 8 people had recovered following treatment. The child passed away at the Mulango Hospital in the capital, Kampala, the only facility in the country for dealing with Ebola cases. More than 15,000 people have died of Ebola in Africa in the past 50 years.
That foreign news roundup there by Franklin Fomogong brings us the end of Divine Mercy Prime for this very first day of this working week. Before we go, let's quickly have a relook at the top stories we had tonight. This evening, we brought to you information and reports are confirming that His Lordship Michael Bibi, the Bishop of Boya, his driver, and DMRTV's journalist Joseph Otop are out of danger after an incident en route Yokaduma over the weekend for the ordination of the newly appointed bishop of that diocese, His Lordship Justin George Ebenge. The information revealed in a communique by the Chancellor of the Diocese of Boya, Reverend Father Michael Mbowi. Christians of St. Charles Luanga Parish here in Moliko, Boya, and viewers of DMR TV today were treated to another session of the weekly diocesan catechesis Know Your Faith. They were encouraged to embrace the upcoming Lenten season with the spirituality that it deserves. Reverend Father Nje Moka Martin, priest of the Diocese of Boya, taught on the liturgical year, the season of Lent, and it is the month for women. Activities are already gearing up for the March 8, 2025 celebration. Tonight, we served you with the launch activities here in Boya by the Regional Delegation of Women Empowerment and the Family for the Southwest region. We are encouraging you to keep glued to DMR TV for more news will be yours tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. and we will be back with the primetime news 7 p.m. tomorrow when we bring more information to your notice. I am Jude Mbako Munyo. Have a blessed moment watching our programs. Good night.